This podcast is all about happiness. What gave it away? I'm Fayon Dixon, and welcome to Happy Talk. Each week, I will be introducing you to someone that I share a happy connection with. I just believe that we all have happy stories, happy events, and we sit on them. We never share them. So, this is the platform for doing it. I work as a presenter, broadcaster, events host. I work with stroke survivors. I have my own children's radio show. And I've been really lucky in the last 20 years to do work where I just ooze happiness. Yeah, I'm one of those people. My cup is eternally overflowing. Sit back, enjoy. It's time for Happy Talk. Hello and welcome to another Happy Talk with me, Fayon Dixon. Good news, good guests, no grief. Oh, it's so great to be here again. Sitting by my side is the 10-second world expert in maths and global connector, Philip Chan. Hello, Philip.
Well, good morning, Fayon. It's lovely having you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. When I started putting these happy talks together, I made a list of people, and you're near the top, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get into all about Philip Chan in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to share some news with you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, this is from my friends on social media. They are called News from the Rooftop. And I love to follow what they do because it's news worth shouting about. They basically follow campaigns and issues that are making a difference and empowering people. So each time I start Happy Talk, I share a bit of their news. So this is what I'd like to share with you. So there are a group of passionate leaders across the world who are looking into the care sector. And what they've done is they've launched a new interactive, dedicated. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to start that again if you don't mind. So, news from the rooftop. Um, this is the news that I'm going to share with you, Philip. A group of passionate leaders from across the care sector have launched a new initiative dedicated to raising the profile of the UK's 1.6 million care workers and the valuable work that they do. They're called Championing Social Care, and it will include the care sector, fundraising ball, care home open day, the Sparkle for Social Care campaign, and the new virtual event that they have called Care Sector's Got Talent. Now, they're going to be dedicating to a showcase of amazing talents of social care workers. And I really feel that this is the most perfect time to be celebrating our care workers because with this whole pandemic, before then, we all knew that they did good work. We knew it, but we really saw how much we needed them, our friends, our family members, but they really just don't get enough love as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just really pleased to be able to share this initiative with you. How does it sound, Philip?
That's fantastic. It's nice when people are putting so hard work and dedication, for them just to be recognised and someone just say simply thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who get recognized out there, and I just don't think they get enough recognition. So, massive thumbs up to them. And I'm following them on social media. And if you want to follow them too, have a look at their Instagram. It's News from the Rooftop. They have fantastic news, and it really is worth shouting about. So, Happy Talk. Each guest that I welcome into this space, I have happy connections to. And Philip, I have happy connections to you too.
Thank you. We had a great time a few years ago, so I really appreciate the connection, and you always bring joy and happiness to your shows and fun as well.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Well, the first happy connection that I have with you is math. Okay. So when I was at school, I actually liked numbers, but I just didn't get it. I just wasn't very good at maths. And it's interesting, at the time that I met you, I started working in the field of STEM, science, technology, and engineering, and mathematics. I'm just going to say that again because my tongue got tied. At the time that I met you, I got more involved in working in the field of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I was hosting events, I'm still hosting events where young people can connect with people who work in that field and just see, normal, average, everyday people doing those incredible jobs. And the one thing, when you ask most young people, when you say to them, how's your maths? They always go, oh, I hate it, hate maths, can't do it, no good at it, never been good at it, I can't stand it, I want it over. And I used to feel the same way until I met you, because what you do, Mr. Chan, is you break down mathematics so simply and easily that it is a language and you find the love of it. You make it so simple. So you've turned my life around, and I have an appreciation of numbers and maths, and I have no fear of it anymore. And it is thanks to you. So my question is, when did you start to get into the whole mathematics love?
Well, if I trace it back at school, I was actually bottom in every single subject, including maths.
Wow.
And towards the summer of age 14, this is like the equivalent to year 9 in the system today. Had a conversation with myself. I said, I'm bottoming at everything. If I go on like this, by the time I actually leave school, I'm going to have no qualification. No wants me. I'm not going to have any job. And the rest of my life, I'm not going to have much of a lifestyle ever. And then I decided to make a conscious decision. I'm going to sacrifice every one of my school holidays and I'm going to work to get myself up to standard. Now, maths has not never been my strong subject, and actually, I wasn't even actually interested in maths. But what I love is actually history. I love history. I love going, and actually, and the course of that, and that was actually the changing point. I actually delved into the history of maths.
Okay.
And then I discovered all these wonderful methods been around for hundreds, sometimes 1 or 2,000 years old. Yeah, and thought, wow, these fantastic. Why don't we do it today? And these are effectively the forgotten time maths. And I'll start doing it just out of interest, and for no other reason, for just pure interest. And
Mm.
then I discovered actually, rather than do the conventional way, doing the old method,
Yeah,
actually it works much quicker. And then I showed it to one or two of my friends, and it snowballed from there. And after a while, people say, wow, you're so intelligent. I said, no, I'm not. I'm actually bottom of every subject, you know. And then added to that, and a very a wonderful teacher of mine, Mr. Roland Duff. I had three maths teachers. They're all great teachers and wonderful teachers. But technically, Mrs. Duff was the least able of them a mathematician. After the war and so on, he actually self-taught to become a teacher.
mm.
And quite often I asked him a question. He said, "Well, actually, I don't know how to do it, but I'll find out for you, and I'll show you tomorrow." So he was a self
Yeah,
learner,
that's a cracking teacher right there.
and
Yeah.
and and so from that point he understand where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from, a very high technical. He actually spoke out my language,
Mm.
and I kind of, in one sense, I kind of model myself on Mr. Duffy in one sense. you know. And he said two things to me that really resonated with me. First of all, he said, if you honestly don't understand something, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Mm.
But it was the second thing he said actually it's better to feel stupid for 5 minutes than stay stupid for the rest of your life.
Oh,
And
wow. What profound advice.
yeah, and then from that, for somehow that's kind of um, broke the ice.
Yeah.
And then for the next two terms, and I just went like a crazy man crazy boy, and just asking my teacher to death anything I don't. And now that restriction, I used to be fear. So if I ask a question, people think I'm stupid and dumb, and all of a sudden that phrase just literally lifted the roof off.
Mm.
And I just spoke my teacher to death, and yeah, I'm sure every time my teacher said, "Oh no, go away, Chan," I just bugging my teacher to death, and something magic happened, and within 2 terms, I went from set 10 to set 2 in most subjects, and thanks,
Amazing.
so having one person who actually believed in me, although Mr. Duff was not the most technically mathematician,
Mm.
uh, but he instilled some. I,
He gave you that
it's just
confidence.
it's magic. It's the magic spark somehow that's brought me to life. And I can always remember that. So one day, if I ever got good, I don't want anyone to feel the way I do. I used to go home crying every night, and before going to sleep, literally for years and years. And I've never told that to anyone till literally in the last few years. And sometimes when I think about it, I still have you know, a walk back memory, and it's just a teeny sadness. I thought, that feeling has stayed with me for all these years. I said, I don't want any of my students to feel
Mm.
that, as a teacher.
And
So, and also my philosophy then when I became a teacher is I would find at least three or more ways to teach the same topics because one size do not fit all. If someone's a
right
left-handed
there.
person, if someone's a left-handed person, don't give that person a right-handed too, and vice versa. So sometimes my philosophy is at the end of the lesson, if my students are not learning, it's not that they're stupid, it's I haven't done my job as a professional to
Oh,
find a way to get through to my student.
bravo. Bravo, Mr. Chan. I mean, when you get the right teacher, somebody that allows you to explore and feel that it's okay to make mistakes. And I love that. I don't know, that honesty, I don't know, but I'm going to find out and come back to you. That's what makes a difference. So your 10-second maths is world renowned, and it's so exciting. But the other happy connection I have to you is something that I used to do from the age of 4 to 13, literally day in, day out, slept it, dreamt it, thought about it. All I could do was gymnastics. You, my friend, I mean, I did it through school and then kind of stopped around the age of 13 because I needed to focus on my lessons and stuff like that. Couldn't go to clubs as much. And then as an adult, I would just mess around with it and then started doing acrobatics in my early
Mm.
30s and revisited, not just the cartwheels, but the somersaults and backflips that I never got to learn when I was young. But you, my friend, you have been a bit of a gymnastic wizard, you in your time.
Thank you. But it didn't start that way. I mean, I was no good at sports, until after age 14.
Huh?
And one of my school friend, Tony Alfano, he's Tanner's good friend, and he always invite me. He did a gymnastics club. I was so shy, I would just sit and watch him, and I wouldn't participate until one time, all of a sudden, he said, "Come on, have a go." And my PE teacher encouraged me to do that. And within a short time, I thought, oh, well, that's quite good. I quite enjoy that you know, and literally from nowhere, within the next 2 years, I actually then start to improve, and then also one occasionally, one of the other school teachers from a different school, their gym was out of action,
Mm.
and they had to use our school gym for a while to train. Now, uh, Jan Perry, he was then the England youth coach,
Huh?
and then all of a sudden I connected with him, and then the rest was history. You
Wow.
know.
So how
Um,
far did you get?
Well, I was lucky enough to got to the British team championship, the won the gold medal for the team championship as one of the team members, you know. But again, but my problem is I was split between the number sport. Once I got interested in sport, I actually then was split into different sports. So my attention wasn't exclusive gymnastics. Also I became a county champion in badminton and table tennis as well. And then at that time, I recorded the second world best time for 50-mile walking. Now, I didn't go for the time. No, I did not go for the time. It was for a charity walk.
Okay.
Uh, I used to do a back-to-back charity with a number of different organisations. So one charity on the Friday evening at midnight, we start the 50-mile walk so we can actually end up during the Saturday. And then another charity, I'm also one of the organisers. It's a 20-miler. So we do a back-to-back 50-mile followed by a 20-mile.
Wow.
Because I was an organizer, once people got started, I do a power walk to finish as soon as I can, and then I go right back to the last person. I walk in with the last person. So you used to do a 50-miler followed by a 20-miler.
Showing your
Yeah.
support right until the end. Oh my gosh. So you weren't good at maths. There weren't many subjects that you say you were good at. And then you weren't good at sport either. But yeah, look how you turned it all around. You just, you found your link with maths. You found that person to link to, and you found history, which was something you were in really, in awe of. And then with the whole sort of gymnastics, from going from somebody really shy and not wanting to try at first, you ended up winning a medal. A medal.
Well, I would say it's not me winning. I think it's my. I was lucky in the team. My fellow teammate actually done all the work. I just happened to be a part of the team, and as a result, got a gold medal out of it.
You're so
Yeah, so
modest.
it's team event. So I'm riding on their success really.
Yeah, you're so modest. Now, Philip, you are an excellent communicator and connector. What you do is incredible. I mean, I love to network. I love to find out about people, and I love networking. But you're a global connector on a wide scale, and you really do help a lot of people. And I just wanted to give your lovely granddaughter, Chloe, a mention because she's written
Thank
another
you.
book with your backing called Friendship, hasn't she?
Well, no, she wrote the friendship herself, and then we co-written. Well, originally I was going to write a book called Hot Maths for cool kids about 4 years ago. Then I got fed up writing books, so I wasn't going to write that book. And then one time, she after school, she popped into to my place to use the toilet and raid my fridge.
That's good.
And then I thought I'm going to impress my granddaughter, so I showed her this technique of how to do the 8 times table quickly. I was expecting, wow, that was fantastic, wonderful, Instead, as soon as I finished, she said, she calls me Grampy. She said, Grampy, that was rubbish. I said, what? What do you mean rubbish? I am the 10-second maths expert in the world. And I said, well, okay, shut up, hang on, whole ego, listen to her. And she told me, and she was right, she actually innovated on what I did. I always have a saying the obvious is not obvious until it's obvious. And then afterwards, after we stopped the video, she said, you see, the obvious is not obvious until it's obvious, isn't it?
Wow. How old
and,
is she
and,
now? How old is she now?
she's now turned 13 now.
She's
The,
13.
the book was published over a year ago. Yeah. And then as a joke, I had no intention of publishing, but as a joke, I said, Chloe, can I put this in my next book? And she said, Grampy, of course you can, as long as I get 90% of the money.
You see, that's what happens when you teach people about maths. It comes back on you. Oh, that is wonderful. She's shrewd, as shrewd. So it is time for your happy talk, show and tell. I am so excited about this. I'm going to sit on my hands because I just get too excited with my hands. So I'm going to split these from.
Well,
Who's first?
when you first asked me, think an object that made me happy, I had to really scratch my head and think, now, is it this, my portable scratcher? And it's like, no, it doesn't. It does a job, but it doesn't make me happy. Or is it my portable? I don't have a fan club, so I have my portable fan.
Oh my gosh. You're another one of those. I ask my guests, bring one thing, and they always try and show me as many as they can. Because you know what?
No.
Happiness is a thing.
However, in fact, it's something I haven't done for at least 30 years or more, and it's this object here.
What is that?
It's the mouthpiece of my trumpet.
Oh, you play.
I haven't played for 30 years. In fact, this is so rusty and the valves are so stuck. I haven't played this for over 30 years. I used to play the tenor horn and some of the other brass instruments, but I haven't played one for 30 years. In fact, actually, I thought I better have a quick blow this morning. I had a blow the first time this morning for about 20, 30 years.
Blow. Let's hear what it sounds like.
Well, actually, I'm just having a quick sip of water first. And then I'll tell you a story. Hmm. Okay.
Is that
Well,
Amazing Grace?
yeah, it was Amazing Grace. Yeah, yeah.
No, not bad, sir. Not bad.
Okay. So I was a film musician. I'm not I'm not a real musician. I pretend to be a musician. So I used to play in a rack and bone band. You know, uh, they have the old washing
You got the
board.
washer,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drum that you with your
The
feet.
drum,
Yeah.
yeah. So we just made a racket. So we pretend to be musicians when we're not. We just make a racket and have fun, you know. And I used to carry this with me, literally almost in my pocket, almost everywhere. And when I get sad, I tend to just play anything from here and a little bit jazz, and or happy or sad. Actually, I use it so it was a easy portable thing, and no one noticed. And also, I used to do a lot of running, and occasionally it's very boring. You know, the long distance running. No one will run without so I end up myself. Then occasionally just have a break. So I just make a lot of noise in the country. No one can hear me. It doesn't matter. I can make a little racket. You know, and I can't play properly, or sometimes I'm in the car. You know. Or sometimes I get music in my head. I can't. I
Yeah.
can sound great, and I thought I wonder what does it sound like here. But you know, I can't. I haven't played this for 30 years.
That
Yeah, I
is
mean, this is all
amazing.
rusted up. The valves is all stuck. You know,
Where do you keep
and
it? If you haven't like played it for 30 years, where do you actually keep it?
well, actually, I thought I had to look for it about 3 days ago. I thought I I know this is somewhere around, you know. And actually, I found it in one of my drawers. Actually, it was inside envelopes. I don't know how why it was in an envelope,
Oh.
and I can't even remember why I put it in an envelope for some reason. So
You
this has
definitely weren't going to
something.
post it anywhere. You weren't going to send it anywhere.
No. So then I thought, well, this hasn't seen daylight for quite a number of years now, you know. Um, eh,
Thing.
so whenever happy or sad, you know, this or sometimes just to pass the time, and or sometimes I hear music and I'll just try and play along with my mouthpiece, and I used to do anything, stick it in the kettle, stick it in a tube and whiz it around. Yeah, just make a racket for myself, and it makes me happy. I mean, people think I'm crazy probably. Um, so
Right.
actually, you resurrect a memory I forgot it for so long. Yeah.
Oh,
Now, obviously, I can't play this now because I might. Yeah, I think my neighbours will be throwing things at me if I do. You
I don't want it to combust live on Happy Talk. I don't want it to literally go. Eh.
know. So yeah, in fact, when I thought about that's given me an incredible lot of very happy memory.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
sweet.
and I haven't written a song now for 20 years. I used to write things. It's pure
You
for
used
myself.
to
I'm not
write
a musician.
songs?
I used to write poems. I used to write between 5 to 10 poems every day, at least 10 a day. I used to have volumes, and then I'll throw them all away. And again, it's only, I think in the last 3 years, I've written about 2 or 3 poems. I stopped doing that for a long, long time.
Right. Can I
So
ask you, what were your poems about? What were the things that you used to like or enjoy writing about?
it was a way to relieve the tension and stress because I was involved in 18 different charities
Mm.
for different things, and it was very emotional. So it's for me to release the sadness. I see sometimes when people abuse. I was with shelter for 50 years. I was sorry supported, not with shelter, but supported for 50 years for shelter, the homeless. And I think this year's my 57th or 58th year with UNICEF supporter.
Ah, thank you.
So there was a lot of things that made me happy at the same time. It really saddened me. One of the most traumatic times was 1969, and that was the Biafra War.
Mm,
And at that time, I went through the 8 months of the most stressful time in my life, because I was doing all the other things and also helping to fundraise for at that time Oxfam.
yeah.
And it was pure emotion. In those days, we just helped each other, and also in those days, the old sixpence, which is equivalent to 5p now, that actually can buy food for a family. And you buy a packet of crisps for sixpence or five equivalent 5p.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I eat a packet of crisps, I thought, oh, afterward, I felt guilty. I thought that could have bought food for someone in Biafra for a week.
Mm,
But I didn't understand the emotion that when you're young, didn't understand emotion. So the poem was a way for me to release my anguish,
mm.
and it was sort of very, very private. And
I think it's very
also,
important to have a release,
also,
isn't it?
yeah, it's a kind of release, and also I kind of a very a romantic person, but I was a very shy person. Yeah, yeah, and so it was a way for me to release the romantic side. Yeah, it was speaking to myself. You know,
Oh,
and I have kept them always very, very private. I've never shared that until probably about 5 years. I think shared a few poems about 5 6 years ago. That's the first time in my life.
mm.
You know, and
How did
also.
it feel, Philip? How did it feel to share such private poems to the public? I mean, did you put them in a book or did you just share them with friends? How did you do that?
Well, I've actually shared that on Facebook. I've never done that before in the whole of my life. And in fact, actually, last week, one of my best friend at school just passed away. Yeah, all of a sudden, in 3 days he
Sorry.
went. And I just had this urge just to write something very short, and I said I'm not gonna even try and analyze it. I'll just write down whatever comes in my head, and I just did it. And I thought, okay, don't analyze it, just post it. And if people don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's my
Mm,
shame to my friend that's left.
that's
And it doesn't matter what people think. It's my farewell to my friend.
yeah,
Yeah,
very,
I'm
very
all.
important. Just to let go of how you feel. It can be so difficult, but that poem, it's probably brought so much happiness to so many for
Yeah,
reading
it's a
it, and the fact that
friend
you just
that
gave.
yeah, we had lots of happy school memories together. For 10 years of our life, we always go to Germany for 10 years at Christmas time,
Oh,
and we play hockey together. The only thing at that time, my friend Amir Khan, at that time, I was very jealous of him. Yeah, we were great friends, but he's got this suave. Every time he play hockey, he got all these girls hanging around him like a fan club. I thought, how does he do that? Yeah, what has he got that I haven't got?
hang on a
Um,
minute.
and-
I've seen you at events. I've seen you at events. You are always surrounded by women.
well,
You
my,
up to
my
have their
exhibition.
picture taken with you. I've seen you.
Thank you. Yeah, so actually, we after school we lost touch for about 30, 40 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
then his brother actually found me on Facebook on 2018,
As you do.
and actually we met up last year at his home for dinner,
Ah,
and we were going to get together again. And since then, we just never had the time to get it. In fact, I was thinking, only the week before well, 2 weeks ago, so it'd be nice to get together for Christmas. Then all of a sudden, I had a message from Rose said, "Oh, yeah, Amir passed away 3 days ago." Well,
Oh, what a
but okay, these are things that happens in life. That's all part of life. So I think we need to treasure the good memory from that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that you guys got together and had a meal and probably shared loads of memories from the Germany memories, the hockey, what you used to get up to at school.
Yes,
I'm really
and
glad you had that time.
this came to with me occasionally
Did
in
it?
Germany to to uh, to knowing my friend, I'll just make a fool of myself. but then again, we in that area we're great friends. We don't mind making a fool of ourselves in private. Everyone just respect each other. So yeah. So thank you for taking me back into my memory lane. I think I'm going to put this away because I don't think my neighbour will appreciate me playing, annoying them. You know,
It'd be like a knock on the door. Are you okay in there?
yeah, they'll probably be locking me up. Saying, "Are you okay? You haven't gone do that little, you know."
Think just a thought. If you've got the space for it, rather than put your old trombone. It was a
Yeah,
trombone,
no,
wasn't it?
it's trumpet, yeah,
Yeah,
trumpet.
trumpet, right. Rather than put your old trumpet back into the envelope, why don't you get it polished up and like mount it somewhere because it's something that's brought you a lot of happiness. Maybe it's time to put it on its own little plaque somewhere. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, no, I'll be accused of blowing my own trumpet then.
Ah, and on that wonderful note, Philip Chan, it's been wonderful to have you as a guest here on Happy Talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rayon, and thanks again. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you for the memory.
Thank you so much, Philip. You don't blow your trumpet enough, my friend. So I'm glad you could share your happy memory here with us here on Happy Talk. Thank you. Okay, it's now time for your happy happenings. I really love receiving these. So if you want to be part of the happy happenings movement, do send me an email to happytalkwithfayondixon@gmail.com. This week's happy happening comes from Mum Alex, who has a daughter called Jesame. Jesame is 5 going on 6 now, and she's recently started a ballet class and she absolutely loves it. And she's got a lot of teachers that she likes, but one stands out and it's a Miss Mia. And Miss Mia stood out even more recently because she wears the PP mask. And I mean, that's a barrier, isn't it, for anyone? But what she did so that the kids could just feel, happier about it, was she decorated it all in diamantes and jewels and just made it so beautiful. Jethame couldn't stop talking about it. And now her mum's going to have to make her one. Well, so she should. It sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Alex, for sharing Jesme's story with us. So this is the end for Happy Talk for this week. I will be back with another amazing guest. And until then, look after yourselves. Remember, this is the place. Good news, good guests, no grief. This is how I roll.